Hello, my friends. Welcome to One More Step to Wellness. I am your friend and host, Juliet Nelson, and I'm delighted that you're here. Here at One More Step to Wellness, we look at the 8 key areas of health that affects our mental health. You see, wellness is not just one thing. We have to take a look at these 8 key areas to better understand how well we're truly doing. Today, we're going to talk about occupational health and wellness. It's all about what we do every day to earn a living, our occupation. Many of us spend many hours at work, and next to our families, our jobs, in order of importance, ranks very high up there. So it means then, if we spend as much time as we do on the job, it is important for us to understand how is our mental health affected by what we do every day. The place we go to every day, the place that we spend as many hours as we do. So next to our family, with the level of stress that we feel every day, sometimes with family issues, well, job stress is also another big thing. And for each individual, our jobs mean different things. For some of us, it's a creative outlet. For some, it's just about professional fulfillment. We show up every day and do the best we can. And for some too, it is a path to wealth building. But no matter what our job means to us, we must recognize that what we do every day affects our mental health. There are some areas that we have to note as it relates to our job, and each one of us have to ask ourselves, what is the main concern about what we do every day? What is our level of stress on the job? And how best are you planning to make the necessary adjustments to preserve your mental health? After all, the job scene may never change. But we can make the choices we need to make every day to make the necessary changes for us, to preserve our own mental health. Let's take a look though at some of the top reported factors that cause our mental health to be affected as it relates to our occupation or our job. Number 1, lack of job security in of itself is a number 1 factor. You and I know that things are changing around us rapidly in the world of work. Companies go through all kinds of changes and they're not asking permission. It's just what is. So you may go into work one day and you no longer have a job. That is a very stressful situation to be in. Too much responsibility with little or no authority is a factor as well that causes insecurities on the job, and it influences our mental health because we think about it all day long. When you're asked to do more than you possibly can, whether physically or mentally, without, again, there is no one to ask, there's no guidance. This significantly impacts our mental health. What about unrealistic expectations and deadlines and quotas that have to be met? Are you in a job that relies heavily on the numbers, the quotas, and meeting deadlines for tasks that are assigned? You sometimes have to burn the midnight oil to get some of these tasks completed. You have to pass up on, your children's birthday parties. You have to pass up on back to school night. So many things happen in your family that are really important, but because of this job, how are you doing with that? What about corporate downsizing, restructuring, or job relocation? Are you expected to move across the country, across town? Is it that you have to live in a hotel room for, many days on end, just so that you can get stuff done in a new location? What is your situation? How are you doing managing stress on your job? What about inadequate training? Are you properly trained for the position in which you're working? How are you learning to catch up? How are you trying to fill those gaps that exist because you were not trained for this role? How are you managing? What about a lack of appreciation? Is anyone coming over to your desk and telling you you're doing a great job? Or are you coming under constant pressure and scrutiny from your supervisor, your employers? How is that going? What about inadequate time to complete the tasks that are assigned before something else comes on your desk? Is this even doable? Can you imagine the significant amount of stress that comes with, trying to, again, complete a job that there is not enough time allocated for you to complete that task? What about your inability to voice your concerns? Is there an open forum within your job setting or environment to allow for you to say how you truly feel and to verbalize your concerns about some of the struggles and challenges that you're having with that job? Is there enough support? Is there enough training? Are there outlets for you to, sit with your supervisor and not wait for that performance review at the end of the year? Are there opportunities for you to sit and talk about how you truly feel, just so it doesn't fester? Because showing up to work with a bad attitude doesn't really help you mentally at all. Lack of creativity and autonomy. Are you able to be your creative self, to bring your creativity to the job, to get the task done, or, to fulfill the requirements that are needed on the job in order to be the best version of yourself? Are you able to have any kind of creative input? Are you a part of the decision-making team? How does that stack up for you? What about too much to do with very few resources? It's like giving you a basket to carry water. How is that working? Are you able to function well enough waking up day after day to go to a job that does not provide the resources for you to get that job done well? Lack of clear job description, and especially when things are changing as quickly, you just don't have a clear path to how, ideally, most of us have a job description, so we know exactly how to perform on the job. So you're not running around scattered and feeling like you're chasing your tail. There needs to be clear guidelines and clear structure as to your performance and what the expectations are. And we must again recognize that we cannot judge ourselves when we're asked to perform tasks and roles for which there is no clear guideline. How is that even supposed to work? Commuting and traffic difficulties. I know many folks work remotely, but not everyone does. And there are folks who commute very, very long distances. And depending on where you live, your commute could be an hour and a half one way. There are folks who spend up to 3 hours a day commuting. You're taking 2-3 trains. You're on the highway. There is just so much that must be done prior to even getting to that place. Not everyone works remotely, so we have to think about those who have very long commutes. Talk about guys and girls who drive trucks across cross-country trucking. And again, if you're a trucker, kudos to you. But there are folks who spend a lot of their time on the highways and the byways. How are you managing out there? How is it working out for you? Are you taking care of yourself and your mental health? Keeping pace with technology is also a challenge. Not everyone is embracing all this, the technology, use of the computers. And I know we live in an age now where we must be able to utilize technology to get our job done. And depending on where you work and so on, but it is important now that we are able to utilize some of these tools without getting carried away with it. But again, a very stressful thing, because I also remember when, we started remote school classes where, students were expected to, engage in courses that were remote. Not every instructor wanted to use this whole remote virtual thing. And that is still an area of concern because, again, we know that when COVID showed up on our doorstep, many of us, including myself, who at the time was, had to instruct virtually, it really, really, really was a challenge. Inadequate childcare is also a big factor in the stressful situation that we deal with in the workplace. When parents are not able to find good childcare so they can come to work on time, and they can, they have the flexibility of leaving just in case something happens, to their child, that is one of the most stressful situation. And when we think of balancing work and home and personal life, work-life balance is very hard when you do not have supportive childcare. Poor working conditions, which could include lighting, ventilation, and noise. We talk about environmental health and wellness. Well, here we go. Occupational health and environmental health, they're tied at the hips. Our environment must support our mental health. Our occupational health is tied to the environment. Depending on where you work, if the ventilation is not good, you're going to also suffer physical issues. Okay? So it means then that all of these key areas of health, they're interconnected and they're interrelated. They're not separate and apart. So that is why our occupational health, the thing that we do every day, the job we go to, is important for us to think about as it relates to our mental health. It is not separate and apart. It is a part of, again, the whole dynamics of wellness. Sexual harassment, racial discrimination, and workplace violence are real issues. They're urgent, they're pressing, they must be dealt with. These are some stressful situations as it relates to our occupation. So the question I have for you, all of these factors are factors to think about and to consider. What is the issue that is most pressing for you? What is the issue that is most pressing for you within your work environment? Do you like your job? What about your job do you like? Are you growing? Are you feeling any kind of professional fulfillment? Is it for you a path to wealth, building wealth? Is it a place where you are able to display your creative abilities? Do you have plans to change your job? Are you looking to acquire new training, new tools, new resources in order to transition from your current role? Are you in a job where it's just a job? Is it purposeful work? What is it for you? Your occupational health and wellness is integral to your mental health, not separate and apart. Everything you do must keep your mental health intact, because if the brain does not work, very few things do. Give it some thought. I would recommend these. Take a look at your employee assistance program at work. Understand how it works and take one of these important steps. Learn how it works, the employee assistance program. Many folks do not even know that they have this at work, where you can take time off, or you can also engage in mental health support just in case you need it. What about taking time out just in case you need it with the FMLA, Family Medical Leave Act? It is not an employer program. It is there for all of us to take advantage of if necessary. What about taking a vacation? When was the last time you took a vacation from work? Are you one of those folks who are just really worried that if you go away on vacation, you're going to have more work than if you had stayed and not take a vacation? Do you fear just having so much on your plate to do when you come back that you just never take a vacation? What about your benefits? Have you ever paused to talk to someone on your job about the benefits that are that can be derived while you're working, and the benefits that are going to be available for you when you retire? What about other services that are available that you may not be taking advantage of? Think about some of these things. After all, I looked at a recent quote, and it was a picture of something I saw recently, and it was one of these little things that you see pasted up on a wall sometimes, or a picture, right? And it says, "You're spending the best years of your life doing a job that you hate, so you can buy stuff you don't need to support a lifestyle you don't enjoy." Your occupational health and wellness considers what you do every day for work. It must bring meaning to your life. And if you're experiencing challenges on your job, how are you addressing those challenges? Do you have the ability to talk to someone to get help? Are you able to lend yourself and to add creativity and talent to your work environment in any way to get your job done, or just to build moral support and camaraderie in your work environment? How is it for you? I want you to think about this and reflect. But first, take a look at the Employee Assistance Program. It is there for you. These are services that are in place to help to support your mental health. What about taking some time off, just in case you need it, to support a member of your family or even yourself? Are you burnt out? What is happening to you now that you believe you could use some rest? How are you doing on your job? Are you just physically present, but you have mentally checked out? Think about your occupational health. Make the necessary changes, one step at a time. You don't have to do all of it at the same time, just one step at a time. Make the right choice and do not delay. Your health and wellness truly matters. And as we say in Jamaica, until I see you next time, walk good. Take care.